C-Dub, you inspired this video, big homie. Just wanted you to know that. After we got off the phone the other day, talking about the subject of money, making money, I thought about it. I said, man, I would love to make a video on that subject. That's something that I'm passionate about. I just wanted to let you know that you are the inspiration for this video. Appreciate that. For you, the viewer, the person that's watching this video right now, just to bring you up to speed, I was conversing with a friend of mine, and we were talking about the subject of saving money. And I asked the friend that I was talking to, I said, okay, so now the question is there a way that you can get the money that you're saving to make some money? His answer to that was, I'm gonna have to think about that. Like, he thought about it for a few seconds. He's like, I'm gonna have to really think about that one. And so that is what inspired me to want to make a video on this subject. First, before I get into this, I want to say I totally understand my friend's answer and totally respect that, but I personally feel that there are too many of us as regular, quote unquote, regular, average, everyday people, truck drivers, like the individual that I was talking to, like myself, like you, the person watching this video. There's too many of us, I feel, that the only thing we know, we only know one way to bring money into our lives, and that's by working for it. That's by earning it, trading time for money. While obviously there's nothing wrong with doing that, like I pride myself on being a hard worker as well. I feel like we're in a time now where individuals, especially us, average everyday people, we need to be a little bit more, we need to dig a little bit deeper as far as bringing money into our lives. Warren Buffett was quoted as saying, an individual is either going to work for money or they're going to find a way to have money work for them. And if you think about that statement just for a few seconds, I can have money work for me, or I can work for money. Like, which one sounds more appealing? Okay. Money is a resource that we all have to have. And again, if the only way we know to bring it into our lives is to work for it, is to go out and trade time for it, we don't know anything about how to actually, or we're not even thinking about getting money to work for us. Okay. I feel like we're in the wrong times to be doing that. And here's a few reasons why. One is because of inflation. We are working hard to accumulate money to save, and more money is being printed than we can save. I read somewhere recently that like close to 25% of all of the dollars that are in circulation in the United States right now were printed within the last year. What that basically means is the money that we're busting our asses to save, and accumulate, the value of it is going down. And that's because the cost of everything is going up. This is relevant because if your only way of funding your savings, funding what you're going to save, or saving what you're going to accumulate, if your only way of coming up with that money and funding that is you working for it, then on the flip side of the coin, inflation is eating away at the value of it. You can see how it would make it difficult for average people to get ahead. Most of us, unless we have high enough balances, the bank is actually charging us for keeping our money there. So think about it. I'm working hard, busting my butt to save money. And if I don't have a certain amount in the bank is taking some of that money. Taxes are taking that money. And inflation is, all of those are eating away at the value of what I'm busting my butt to accumulate. This is why it's so important to figure out, or to have another way other than trading time for money, to accumulate money. This is how we get to the subject of putting money to work for you. Now, I'm not talking about anything high level, stock investing. Obviously, that's a viable route, but I'm not talking about anything like that. I'm really thinking about and talking about practical things that everyday average people could do with their money to make it grow, to increase its in value. Okay. The most recent thing that I did was buy the truck that I was already driving. So I said, all right, what can I do with $10,000 to flip it, to grow it? And for me, obvious answer was buy the truck that you're already driving for someone else. And I did that, and the truck obviously has paid for itself. And I bought it 90 days ago, but it's paid for itself. My income has gone up, and I didn't increase my workload. Nothing changed. I just put that money to work to grow it. Some people aren't even thinking about the subject of, like my friend, it didn't sound like he was thinking about how can I get my savings? How can I grow what I'm saving? Right. Obviously, he was thinking I can work hard and save it, but like, how can I get it to work for me? How can I look at money as like a soldier, like a worker in itself. I send $1 out. I want that dollar to find a friend and bring it back. That's what I want a dollar to do. But it's hard to do that if you're not even thinking along those lines. In my world, we have to have a trailer to pull around the freight that we pull. Trailer rent, if you don't have one, is $600, which means like I found a trailer for $5,500 and bought it. Okay. So again, it didn't happen this way, but essentially it's like, okay, I got $5,500 in savings. What's a low risk way? Low risk key. What's a low risk way that I can grow this money? And I identified a couple of ways to be able to do that. And I'm always thinking about how can I get the money to grow itself. Another thing that I'm looking at doing right now, my wife doesn't know this, and I hope she don't look at this video, because if she does, it's going to give it away. But like, we need a house. Me and my family, we need a house yesterday. Okay. We need a house 2 years ago. All right. And she's looking for just a regular house, a primary residence to live in. She don't know that I'm doing this, but I'm actually looking for a unit or a piece of property that has units that we can rent out. So I'm looking for like a duplex or maybe even a triplex or a quadplex. Essentially, the goal is to get something where the income from the other units can cover all of the cost of owning and managing the property, which essentially puts us in a position where we can live rent-free. So like, we got to have a down payment, whether we buy a house just to live in, or we got to have a down payment if we buy an investment property that actually is producing, that we can use to produce income. We got to have a down payment either way. So I'm asking, my wife ain't thinking about this, obviously, but I'm asking myself, what's the way, how can we grow this money? And what's the way that we can grow it the most? Like, we can grow it some just by buying a house to live in, but we can really grow it by buying a house that's producing income. Not only will the rent from the other units, and this isn't a perfect world, I don't know if it'll work out this way, but this is what I'm thinking. Not only will the rent from the units pay down the mortgage and give us equity in the property, but again, and it's giving us a return on our down payment, but also it puts us in a position where we can save more than we're saving right now. We can save 100% of what we spend out now for rent, which helps us to accumulate that much faster, which helps us get in position that much faster to take advantage of future opportunities. I'm not sharing this to like brag or anything. I'm just saying that you got to be thinking about ways to increase your income and get and make more money and increase how much you can save and increase what you're bringing in other than just working for it. Bottom line, if you're a trucker, there's going to come a day where you either can't do it or don't want to do it. So like, I got it. If you don't think about it, it's hard to find something that you're not looking for. Okay. So like, okay, we know how to earn money. We know how to work for it. We know how to save it. We might even know how to pay off bills and pay off debt. But like, other than that, is there ways that you can get your money to grow? Is there ways that you can put money to work for you? And can you continue to do that? Because if you can do that, if you can pick up that skill set, the skill set of getting money to work for you, you don't have to spend your time working for money.
Maurice Bay, the Helpful Trucker here. For more helpful CDL tips, go here or consider subscribing to my YouTube channel right here. You could have been anywhere else in the world, but instead you chose to be here with me, and I really appreciate that.